Hello and welcome to the Chief Architect Quick Tip. My name is Derek and our topic today is about migrating from an older version of Chief Architect to a newer version of Chief Architect. And specifically in the presentation, we'll be covering how to download and install the software, how to migrate library and graphic files, learning about new features, preferences, templates, toolbar configuration, migrating your existing plans, and we'll talk a little bit about some additional resources. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to cover the download and install process, and we'll go through this pretty quickly. Many of you are familiar with this process. So the first thing you'll need to do is navigate to the chiefarchitect.com website, and on any of our web pages you'll notice that there is a My Account link in the upper right hand corner. So we'll need to click on My Account here, and when you click on that you'll be brought to the login screen, and this is where you'll need to enter the email address for your account and the password for your account. If you happen not to know what your password is or you've lost that, you can click on this link down here for lost your password. It will prompt you for the email address and will email you a temporary password that's good for 24 hours. So you want to make sure when you request that lost your password that you retrieve the email, enter it, and then change the password to whatever you'd like it to be. So after you're done entering your information here, we'll want to click on Login, and that will bring you to your account page. And there's quite a bit of information in here, but what we're looking for is under Available Services. There's a digital locker for software download and product keys. And if we click on that, we'll be brought over to our digital locker. So the product that I have in here that I'd like to upgrade is the Chief Architect Premier X7 up to the X8 version, and I have 3 different licenses in this account. And the 2 licenses that are up top here, they do not have our SSA, our support and software assurance, so we're not exposed a free upgrade for these because they do not have SSA. Down below I do have a product key down here, and the SSA on this particular license is valid, so we are exposed an upgrade to Chief Architect X8 button here. So if we click this button, that's going to let us know that this X7 product key will be removed in the download. If it's your only license for X7, will be removed from your digital locker. So it's a good idea for you to make sure you write down or keep a record of your prior version product key, and it's also a good idea to download, or if you don't have a backup disk, download and back up the installation file for your old version. That way you have an archive copy in case you need it down the road. So once we click this here, that will then alter our digital locker so that we are exposed the X8 version. And to download the X8, we'll want to choose either your Windows or Mac operating system. If it's Windows, we can choose 64 or 32-bit, and this is the download button to go ahead and download that. The product key for your X8, there happens to be 2 licenses in this account, so the product key for your X8 license will be listed down below. So we can initiate the download. The download process will guide you through that. It's fairly straightforward. We're not going to do that just to save time for this presentation, but I do want to draw your attention to a couple of helpful links down here. One of which is which download should I choose. If you're not sure if you need Windows or Mac or 64 versus 32-bit, you'll get some information here about that. This is a complete guide for the download and installation instructions. You can click that for step-by-step instructions on the process after clicking the download button here. And then there's also a Chief Architect X8 migration guide. So this is a good supplement to the information that we're going to be covering in this quick tip video. So let's go ahead and move on here. So we're going to assume that we have successfully downloaded, installed, and entered in the product key for the upgrade to X8, and I'm going to minimize my screen here. And upon initial launch of the new version, in this case Chief Architect X8, we're presented after registration with a welcome screen, and in our welcome screen we'll want to click to open up a new plan. And when we do that, if the computer you're doing the upgrade on has a previous version of Chief Architect installed on it, the program is going to seek out if there are any old library files that are existing on the computer from the prior version. So in this dialog box, it will prompt you to see if you'd like to migrate those catalogs. Typically, I would say yes to go through that, to carry those forward. That way you're not having to go through the download process on that. And there is a way to update, so if it's a core catalog that's been updated, we can run an update process that will show you to get things up to date. I also typically like to seek out any items that are in my user catalog as well. That way any of the things that I've created and put into the user catalog will carry forward. So go ahead and select all those and bring forward our user catalog, and then we will click OK to that. By the way, if there were bonus and manufacturer's catalog detected, they would show up here as well, and I would recommend to bring those forward in this process. So we'll click OK. So if you do have some items to carry forward, it's likely that you will by default have our library browser open, and you'll notice that we're already installing or carrying forward those legacy library files that were detected on this machine. Once this runs through the process, I would leave Chief Architect running. In fact, you can minimize it or do work on a plan while this process is going on, but it is a good idea to leave the software running until all the libraries have been updated here. And if you'd like to do a check in the other catalogs, like the core catalogs, we can go up into our library drop-down menu and update library catalogs. That will go and seek out and fill in any differences between the core catalog of the prior version and the newer version. It is worth noting that if you're migrating from a version that is older than X6, then you're going to have to go through a separate migration process in order to bring your catalogs forward. So it's X6 and newer that this automated migrating of catalogs was put in. And in that migration guide that I showed in the Digital Locker has details on how to migrate catalogs forward from X6 and prior. Okay, I'll go ahead and close my library here, and let's move on to the next category, which is dealing with migrating our graphic files forward into the new version. To migrate your graphic files forward, you're going to need to get into your Documents folder. So on your PC, you have Documents, and under Documents there is a Chief Architect Premiere Data folder. So Premiere X8 in this case, want to open up that file, and in here you'll find three different folders, one for backdrops, one for images, and one for textures. So if you've created any custom backdrops or imported custom backdrops, your own image files or textures that you're using in Chief Architect, you'll want to come in and copy the content in this folder in the prior version, and this is true going back to X1 and newer. So if you're migrating up from X1 and newer, you'll want to go into Documents and the Chief Architect data folder for that version, copy what you have in backdrops and textures and images, and then paste those into the Documents Chief Architect Premiere X8 or the version you're migrating to, and paste those into these folders. And once you do that, the software will automatically recognize that and carry those backdrops, textures, and images forward. Okay. At this point, it makes sense to get yourself familiar with the new features in the version that you're migrating to. And I would recommend going to our website. So I'll bring over our website here. And on the website under products, we have an upgrades and SSA renewals page. And on this page here, we have Chief Architect X8. If we scroll down the page, there's a bunch of information here about the new features. So this is a overview video, a summary of the new features in Chief Architect. It's about 15 minutes long, so you can click on that to watch it. If you scroll down below, there's individual features and video snips that you can watch on some of the summary features. And this is a pretty long page. I'm not going to scroll all the way down there, but you can go in and take a look at those to get yourself familiar. There is also a detailed features list PDF document that will spec out all the individual differences in the new version of the software. Another resource I would recommend under the User Center and training videos, we have a training video series on the right here. Select a video series, and this is a playlist for features introduced in Chief Architect X8. So you can click on that and it will filter the training videos down to the specific videos that explain the individual new features in X8. So I would recommend getting familiar with that. That way, as you move forward in the migration process, you're aware of new things that may impact the migration going forward. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at our preferences. So let's go ahead and minimize our screen here. Now, preferences are settings that are global, which means they apply to all plan and layout files. So regardless of what plan or layout you have open, the preferences settings will carry forward through all those different plans and layout files that you have, as opposed to default settings that are plan specific. So we can access our preferences by going to our edit menu and down to preferences. And the preferences in the software do not carry forward between versions, so you want to make sure that you go through these preference settings for your prior version and make sure that the settings you have there are being carried forward in the preferences of the new version. So you'll want to go through each of the categories here on your prior version and make sure that you're matching your preferences into the new version. If you haven't gone in and changed many preferences or any preferences, this is a step you don't have to necessarily worry about. Next, we'll want to take a look at templates in Chief Architect. When the new version of Chief Architect installs, a selection of template plan and layout files will also install along with the program. And these template files are always created to take advantage of the new updated tools and features in the new version of the software. So we always recommend that you use the installed templates with the new version when you're creating both new plans or creating templates within the program. So we'll need to navigate into our documents folder again. So under your PC or in the documents folder of your Mac, you'll see that there is a Chief Architect Premier, and given the version number, that in this case X8 data, and in that folder we'll have a templates folder, so we can double click on that, and in here we'll see various different plans to choose from, and you can see the type here if we expand that these are plan files. We also have template layout files as well. So you can go through and choose which plan you would like to use as a template that we've created here, or edit one of these plans and modify it and save it. But it is always a good idea to make sure you're using plans that are for the new version that we've created so that they take advantage of any new features and tools that we've incorporated. In our layout borders, this is where we'll find imperial and metric layout options. So again, it's important for you to use these and create your new layouts or plans or templates using these files. If you do not want to use the plans and layouts or templates that are created in the new version, and you would rather go and carry forward templates from a prior version, there are some specific instructions in the migration guide for migrating a template from a prior version forward, but we do recommend using the plans, layouts, and templates that are installed for you and then customize those to your needs. Next, we're going to talk about our toolbars. I'm going to minimize the screen here. Now, when you install the new version of Chief Architect, you always get the default tool configuration. And if you have created some custom toolbars or tools, you'll need to redo that on the new version. So your toolbar configuration does not migrate over when you install the new version, but we can go in and customize those again in the new version that you're upgrading to. If you'd like more information on that, on our website, again under the User Center and Training videos, you can type in the term toolbars here and hit search. There's a number of toolbar training videos that you can choose from, but I would recommend taking a look at this customizing the toolbars video. That's about 9 minutes long for information about customizing your toolbar. The final thing we're going to talk about is migrating your existing plans from an old version into the new version that you're upgrading to. So I'm going to minimize our screen here, and we recommend that you do a backup of your plan so that when you open the plan that you're migrating up in the new version, that you're not going to be missing any custom textures or colors or materials that you've used in the plan but have not saved into the library and perhaps weren't carried forward in that migrating of the library function. So under our File menu, we have a backup entire plan option. This feature in versions X3 and prior is called the Export Entire Plan tool, and in the newer versions X4 and newer is backup entire plan. So we recommend that you back up the plan and you choose this backup plan files and all reference files so that everything used in the plan is packaged and carried forward. We'll click OK to that. And then we'll need to create a folder for this to reside, and we'll choose our desktop and just create a new folder and call it test. And we'll select that folder here to incorporate all the plan materials and the plan file into that folder. So our operation has been completed. We'll click OK, and then on our desktop here we do see this test folder. And this test folder contains all the materials and textures and so forth in this plan, as well as a copy of the plan file. And once you've completed the operation for backing up the plan and you've opened that plan in the new version, we typically recommend that you immediately do a save as. So we'll do a file and a save as, and I recommend that we just save as and append the name of the file that you're carrying forward from the old version and just put the new version in there. So if this was an untitled plan that was originally in X7, I'll append that with X8 so that I maintain the original X7 file that I had, and then I now have a copy of it, and that's been copied and appended with the name X8 so that I can move forward with that plan in X8. It's a good idea to do that in case there's a problem with migrating the plan forward. It's also a good idea in case you needed to open that file in the prior version again. If you preserve the file that was created in X7, it allows you to continue to open that file in X7. Once it's converted into X8 and saved as an X8 plan, it can no longer be opened in a prior version of the software. Okay, I'm going to close out of the screen here. So to recap some of the resources we have available, number one, in our digital locker, we talked about this Chief Architect migration guide. So whatever version you're migrating to, this will be listed in the instructions here are specific by version. So the migration guide for Chief Architect X8 is found under the Chief Architect X8 product in your digital locker. And over on our website, just to recap, under our user center and training videos and under our select a video series, we have this playlist of features introduced in Chief Architect X8. And for those of you that are new to Chief Architect, or those of you that are on a prior version and would like to do a test drive of Chief Architect and the new features in X8, under products, there's a free trial version that you can go into and download the trial version of Chief Architect. So that wraps up our quick tip for migrating your Chief Architect up to a newer version. I hope you all enjoyed our presentation, and thank you for watching, and hope that you have a great day.